Once upon a time, in a lively and hard-working village, lived a young man named Ryan. At 25, he had already spent 5 long years working at a small grocery store near the busy market. Every morning he woke before sunrise, lifted crates heavier than himself, sorted vegetables and stacked shelves, and helped customers with a polite smile that hid his exhaustion. Over time, he earned the trust of the owner so much that the store ran smoothly even when the owner wasn't there. People admired his work ethic, yet Ryan couldn't shake the feeling that he was stuck in the same place day after day. For 3 years, he had been putting aside money into a small metal box he kept hidden in a drawer. Every evening, after closing the store, he would sit at the counter and count the bills one by one. And every evening, he felt the same disappointment. His savings grew so slowly that it felt as if they barely moved at all. He often stared at the ceiling late at night, thinking, "There must be another way. I can't spend my whole life just working and waiting." Ryan dreamed of something different, of earning money even while resting, of building something that didn't require him to work himself to exhaustion. But he had no time for a second job. His work hours swallowed almost every minute of his day. So one morning, on his rare day off, he made a decision. He would visit Mr. Denya, a wealthy man from the neighboring village who was widely known for having many businesses and assets that earned him money even when he wasn't involved personally. The walk to the next village was long, dusty, and warm. The sun beat down on Ryan's back, and he wiped sweat from his forehead as he thought about what he would say. Farmers waved at him from their fields, chickens scattered across the path, and the distant sounds of village life carried through the air. But Ryan's mind was fixed on one thing: understanding how people like Mr. Denya managed to multiply their money without working every single hour of the day. When he finally reached the wealthy man's home, he saw him sitting under a broad, shady tree near his farmland. Mr. Denya looked completely relaxed, sipping a hot cup of coffee and watching workers pick vegetables. His posture, his calmness, the quiet confidence in his eyes, everything about him seemed to radiate a life free from constant stress. Ryan approached nervously. "Good afternoon, sir," he said. Mr. Denya lifted his eyes, smiled warmly, and motioned for the young man to sit beside him. "What brings you here, son?" Taking a deep breath, Ryan explained how hard he worked, how little his savings grew, and how desperately he wanted to learn how to make money work on its own. He spoke honestly, even shyly, afraid of sounding foolish. But Mr. Denya didn't laugh. He nodded with a soft chuckle. Most people work their entire lives, but very few stop to ask the question you just asked. That already puts you ahead. He leaned back against the tree and began speaking with a calm voice that carried years of experience. He explained how wealth didn't begin with big investments, but with discipline, with saving whatever amount one could manage, even if it felt small. Ryan listened carefully, absorbing every word. What surprised him even more was when Mr. Denya pointed to a neighbor polishing a shiny motorcycle and said quietly, "You see that? A beautiful, expensive machine. But things like these drain your future. People buy to impress others, but in the end, these purchases chain them to a lifetime of working just to keep up." As they walked through the village together, Mr. Desanya continued guiding him. He pointed out simple but brilliant examples. A man who started a small Wi-Fi service with barely any capital. A family raising chickens behind their house with a tiny initial investment. A widow renting a small piece of land to farmers. A young boy who sharpened knives in the market and earned more than many adults. Ryan was astonished. How many years had he lived with his eyes closed, thinking only about his job at the grocery store, never noticing the opportunities around him? They made their way back to the big tree,
and the old man began speaking about the courage to begin. He explained how people spent years planning instead of acting, and how those who simply started, even if imperfectly, learned faster, grew stronger, and progressed further than those who waited for ideal conditions. Ryan felt a spark inside him. He understood that he didn't need perfect plans. He needed movement. As the sun shifted and cast long shadows across the field, Mr. Desanya told him how reinvesting profits could slowly but surely transform a tiny income stream into something much larger. He told him about Rudy, the Wi-Fi provider, who started with almost nothing and ended up expanding his service to half the village simply because he reinvested everything he earned. Then came one of the most important lessons: not relying on a single source of income. Mr. Desanya explained how a person should build a second stream, then a third, allowing each one to support the others. That way, even if one failed, the person remained safe. He encouraged Ryan to reward himself occasionally, but never to spend more than half of what he earned from his passive income. By the time the lesson came to an end, the afternoon heat had softened into a cool breeze. The leaves above them rustled gently. Mr. Desanya's final words stuck deeply in Ryan's heart. Patience, consistency, adaptation. The quiet truth that wealth grew slowly the way a tree grows, unseen day by day, but unstoppable with time. Afterward, Mr. Desanya invited Ryan to lunch with his family. They welcomed him kindly, served him rice, vegetables, and warm tea, and treated him like a son. The simple kindness, the peaceful home, the atmosphere of stability, all of it made Ryan realize how different life could be when money worked for you instead of the other way around. When he finally began his walk home, the long, dusty road no longer felt heavy. His mind was filled with ideas, images, possibilities he had never considered before. The ordinary world around him seemed newly alive with opportunities. That evening, sitting in his small room, Ryan opened the same notebook where he tracked his savings. But instead of writing numbers, he wrote something new, a promise to himself. A quiet sentence that marked the beginning of a different life. My first step starts today. And for the first time in many years, he closed his eyes not with frustration, but with hope.